Well, hey there team, and welcome to Stationeers. Well, hey there team, and welcome back to our Stationeers moon run. Oh, that canister gave me a fright. I forgot that I'd left it there, but that's all okay. Look at me just leaving my toys lying around all over the place. Now, just a heads up, if you haven't already, you should check out my spin-off series, Stationeers Lowland. Lowland? Yes. Starts with L. The Other Planet. I've started that should be up on the channel right now, actually. So that's very interesting, but we're going to persevere with this series in tandem, of course. But if you didn't know about that, well, lucky you. Even more Stationeers. Okay, so, interesting point was raised. I was talking about using a digital valve for an advanced cooling system. Not only did I think to myself of a better way of doing that, someone pointed out, you need a super alloy called Invar, or just a complex alloy, and we're not even close to doing that yet, so don't worry about that. What I actually thought to myself is, why don't I just have coolant, right, let's call it coolant, stuff out here with a radiator, which we'll be able to build with steel, and then we just run that into a, like this bloody machine over here, that we have a spare of, basically, right? Because we've sort of abandoned this project, remember? In fact, how do I pull this out? Let's unpack this a little bit, team. Boom, boom, boom. And put my crowbar back there. Alright. Where'd it go? Oh, it's in my hand. Can I just build it in space? I can't. I have to put it on a floor somewhere. No, that's okay, because I want to see. Alright, air conditioner, filtration, an electrolyzer. Interesting. I don't really know what the abundancy rate of water is in this, and I know there's like a maybe a trader, but this is what I wanted to examine: the air conditioner, right? So we've got power and we've got data. That's good, so we could automate it. We've got air in, air conditioner out, air conditioner waste. This is strange. What do you mean air out and air waste? Huh. Alright, leave it with me. That's a bit strange. Because, yeah, I would like to cycle a pipe into a room and have the free exchange between the pipe and the inside atmosphere to cool. So I suppose... Oh no. Okay, so we could input from out in space, so super freezing whatever, like X or H2 or, you know, well, probably not volatiles, but X. And then we could have it pass through at a heated temperature. Like, we'll just use lots of power. I don't really mind that much. So we'll heat it up to room temperature, send it through. Then it will have, and then... The waste, I assume. I don't know what that means. How do you have waste? That's weird. Huh. Anyway, we'll deal with that later, because that's kind of not our top priority at the moment. Apparently, you can bolt this thing on. Hey, look at this. Look at me, big man. Big man gonna cook himself a spud. Now you can split piles. I'm gonna split one spud. Like yay. Alright. Oh, baby, you knew that I was ringing that dinner bell. So we're going to open the microwave. We're going to add potato. One baked potato. Boom. Boom. Close. Oh, look at it go. Cooking me dinner. Oh, yum. Oh, yum. Oh, look at it as well. It looks like it's got some seasoning on it. Look at that. There's a thumbnail. Oh, oh, wow, and you can sort of chip away at it like a cereal bar. That's so good. All right, cooking with gas now, team. We're pretty good. We're pretty fine. All right, so you can hear the grin on my face. Very happy. All right, so everything's pretty much in hand. We just need to work out what we're going to do with power. I reckon power is the next step. I know people want to see the furnace. We'll do the furnace, I promise. I think someone misunderstood me and thought that I didn't want to do a furnace. It's not that. It's just I wanted to do basic survival to this point, to a stable point, without steel. Just to show that you could do it, which turns out you kind of can. All right, so the next sort of step is going to be building a solar panel, which I've already got queued up. We need more gold, we need more copper, but now that it's sort of daylight, we should be laughing. I can't remember, where was our last foray? It was sort of out that way, wasn't it? So let's go out this way. Just kind of want a little bit more daylight, make it a bit easier to sort of, hey, that looks like copper there. Right? Nice. All right. So let's, no, we probably need the correct belt. Here we go. All right. How good is this? Building sort of big brain projects now. I'm very excited to sort of see where this all goes. So while I do this, I can talk about it. We're going to build a new solar panel. Someone suggested, you know, have another one tilted at 20 degrees and then have another one tilted at 80. The truth is, the current setup is fairly stable, right? It's our grid is going to survive, especially we're not doing very complicated stuff anymore, like, well, at the moment, right? So there's room for us to play with solar panels, specifically with logic. You can program a solar panel to auto track the sun. I haven't done it since launch, but how different could it possibly be? I'm sure we can figure it out. So I'll talk through the theory. So at the very least, you guys will appreciate that, I'm sure. A little bit of theory crafting, you know, from one mathematical mind to another. Now, things might have changed. There might be a better way to do it. But I'll go through what I traditionally remember, and we'll see how we go from there. Also, something very interesting is that apparently, see how this follows the sort of the grid? You know, we've got a build square grid. It doesn't deviate. It basically just operates on one axis, if you think about it like that. What's interesting is that the other planet I'm playing, and apparently quite a few of the other planets, that's not the case at all. It'll tilt along two axes, which is interesting. So it's almost like a decaying orbit in a way. Well, it's definitely going to decay away from whatever sort of orbit you have set by default. Is that that looks like copper? No, we want the gold. There's a lot of copper out here. I'm happy with that. Now, I think there's like some sort of ground penetrating mining radar thing that you can get. Oh, here we go. I'd be curious to play with that as well. That would make me a lot more comfortable. Finally put to bed what the go is with sort of water as well. I'd like to figure out if it's there. I get the feeling that maybe it's very deep down, which is a cool sort of twist on the mechanic. Because I haven't seen it anywhere. It has to exist. Doesn't it? I mean, it used to. Maybe they took it out. I suppose. Would you expect to mine and find water on the moon? Maybe you have to trade for it now. Let me know what you guys, if you guys know. Because it used to be that there was actual ice water, you know, H2O, that you could mine. But I haven't seen it, like, ever. So I'm sort of hedging on the ground penetrating radar, fixing my problems there. Otherwise, maybe it is just a trade thing. I could see them doing that as well, right? That sort of makes sense. All right, we've got quite a bit of gold then. Remember, gold's a bit funny. It takes forever to cook. All right. So let's talk about tracking the sun. So what you're going to need is, well, you need to detect it somehow, and I believe we come with a sensor, and you can use a sensor. Now, you have to be careful how you place it, I think, to get the correct angle, but essentially it measures the angle on a flat plane, 180 degrees. I'm sure most people can get their head around that, I certainly hope. The idea, let's just get an idea of how much of this are we going to need. 2 and 6. Right, so it's an 180 degree sort of scape. Let's just cook it straight like that. 1. Sorry, I still got to pay attention to this. 2, turn that off. And 6. Now the thing is, as you would have seen when we've been adjusting our actual solar panel, you would have seen that it actually operates on a 100 degree plane in 10 degree increments. So it's not 1-to-1. And that's actually going to be the root cause of most people's problems when they go to actually try and program a rudimentary sun tracking thing, is the fact that it's not even about learning the system of logic. It's that the two different sort of measurement, your input measurement doesn't actually line up with your output measurement. So, sort of explain this as I go. Why don't I just get... Where is it? This bloody spare thing, right? Let's just put this to bed, eh? So if you have a look here, it tilts in 10 degree increments, 0 through 100%, right? Or percentage, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying degree, but I guess percent is more accurate. So you're going to have to transfer your 180 degree reading from the sun to, oh God, no, probably don't do that, to a 100 percentage reading. So you have to do like some math logic. Now the thing is, you're going to probably end up with a decimal when you do that, like a 1.8 somewhere along the way, right? As a conversion, there'll be a 1.8 ratio or thereabouts. Did that cook it already? That's amazing. All right, so let's have a think about this. Should we... Do we just put this next to it? Wait, why is my solar panel doing... It did this in the other game. Oh my God, wait. It fixes when you... Oh, well, this is good news for the other series. Because see how my solar panel's doing this? It's doing weird shit. It looks weird. But I couldn't get it to lock to the ground on the other series. Maybe I was putting it on the wrong sort of thing. That's cool. Good thing I didn't throw it too far into the darkness. I did throw it away in anger. I'll be able to go back and get it. Oh, well, that's wonderful news. Okay, anyway, so are we starting a totally separate solar farm and leaving this alone? Or are we going to put this on the back? We might just put it on the back just for, I don't know, proximity's sake, for giggles. We can always move this crap later. We're going to need another iron frame. What sort of spare iron do we have? And I suppose we could work with the chute system as well, but I don't really mind manhandling everything. I think we're one short. I know we're one short. I don't need to check that. I know. Iron. Did that stay off? Good. Alright, let's go like that. Go frame, iron frame. Now, I thought I saw iron sheets around the back, but that could just as well be a plastic sheet. Oh, it's an iron sheet. Eyes like an eagle, daddy-o. Alright, that's not what we need. What am I doing? I need to drag that down to there. Even after all this time, still have a semi-regular brain fart. Okay. Bang. That'll do. I'm going to stop doing that. It's the second time I've done that now. It's alright. At least it beeps like crazy and you poop yourself. For reference, team, pressing I does that. Where do I put my solar panel? Wait, where did I put my solar panel? Oh my god, what have I done? Oh no. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's fine. I freaked out for a moment. I haven't had terrible moments like that. Yeah, okay. There's something weird going on with the solar panels now, but hey, it's working, so that's fine. Alright, so for the most part, it's not really going to matter the facing. We could correct for all of that, but we're probably going to want to have our data and our power lines separate. Probably, if we could turn that around, power on that side. Now it's hard to tell, but is that central? That looks centered. Yeah, that looks centered to me. Okay. How do we go charging power through the day? Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Let's just pinch that. Nice. Alright, and then we're going to mung on our potato. We need to do our rounds, actually. I've got to remember that. Have a big old fat chomp on my potato. Alright. Up we go. Should probably build a ladder or something. 4, 6, 5... Now, we might as well, I know it is getting quite warm in that, I'm just going to say, we've got the 3 trays, let's cook with the 3 trays. We have next to infinite water, so we might as well use it. Then we can cool and we'll just collect the oxygen, it's not a big deal, but if this all, like eventually the system probably will break. Something will go wrong and I'll need to fix it, but when it does catastrophically fail and we're potentially out of action for like 2 days or something fixing it, I'd rather have a shitload of potatoes in that scenario than not. So I say we just had that not grown? Did I press the wrong button? Oh no. Oops. Oops. Have to keep an eye on that. I think I did something wrong. Maybe there's different areas that you can interact with on the plant. Not 100% sure. It also occurs to me that we could probably just... Oh, no. You could probably do all this with one vent, but hey, whatever. We're using this one, so that's fine. Let's set inward, vacuum it, set outward. Oh, that's pretty good. You've got to be careful, actually. You might accidentally cool it too much. We're happy with that. 19 kPa. That'll dub up to just under. Yep. That's fine. So just having a moment of self-doubt there. It's all good. Set outward. There you go. They should be happy. I hope they're happy. Okay. Now, should be interesting tackling 2 different bases at once. See how much my brain farts on either side. All right, so we've got our solar panel there. We're gonna need to put some glass on it, and the furnace will be good as well because that'll tie in with making welding fuel available also, which is something that is sort of like a 4th survival tenet that we need. All right, so that's good. That's set up. Now, what we're going to need to do, because I want it to track the sun, is I'm going to need somewhere to put my sensor. Could probably sit there. I believe the sensors just see through bloody everything. You can't really, they don't have line of sight, especially if it's just detecting the angle of the sun. That's just how the system seems to work. We're going to need a place to sort of build our logic onto. I guess we could do it over here, but that's a lot of wire. Like, it's probably, I would rather just build it close by. What we might do is, I'll build 2 more platforms, one to like stand on and one to sort of logic on for the starters. It'll probably get quite large as well. But this will be a fun little exercise, actually. This might be new for some people. And it's definitely going to be new for me because I'm rusty. Alright, well I want 2 more frames. And I probably want 1 more plate as well, because we only had, or sheet, whatever you call them, we've only got 1 steel sheet out there. So that's 8 for the 2 frames, plus another couple more. How much was in there in the first place? Like, oh, I don't know. That's probably enough. Yeah, look, perfect. Exactly the right amount. Perfect. Alright. Have you got iron frames? You do. I'll take 2, please. 1. 2. Let's get some sheets going. Probably just need the 1. Just the ones, thanks, love. Look, it's getting a little bit messy, but we'll just do this. Again, this is sort of in the experimentation phase, remember? So it doesn't have to be too neat and tidy. How good is our, like, the speed of our sort of potato rounds now? So that's good. And that's what you want. You want as little maintenance, like, downtime as possible to sort of just free you up. Okay, that's cool. We can almost walk straight onto that. It's almost worth putting another frame there just to save going like that. But at least we can jump. We don't need the jetpack because that's a big pain. All right, so we're going to have a data in point there, okay, and we're going to have our power out point go onto the grid like so. So we do need to rig that in. I'm going to eat some more of that potato. How much does it do? People said, I think people were saying that the whole baked potato does 80%. I think that's right. So I should just be able to eat this whole bloody thing. Oh my god. Bit of a task. Alright, well I can eat and run and talk and do all these things at the same time. I want to build some logic chips, right? So what we're going to do is, God, I bet they've all changed. Batteries, that's good. We could build some more of them. Integrated chip. Housing. Here we go. A processor. No, I want like a in-out. That's what we want. We want in-out. What do you need for that? 1 and 1. Okay, well, we're going to eat this boy. What do we got there? 3. So we just need a bit of gold. Okay, that's interesting. It's going to use up a lot of gold, I think, in the sort of electronic wiring, which is kind of a cool mechanic, I suppose. I think we only needed the 1. That'll do. God, look how long it takes to cook 1 gold. Crazy stuff. Alright. Stick that in. Off we go. Now remember, I'm from a mechanical engineering background, so you start to lose me at the electronics part. Well, actually, you know what? I'm probably better with electronics than I am with bloody gas. I'm so bad at chemistry, man. And then the furnace is going to be like materials chemistry, which is sort of what I'm supposed to be good at. You know, mixing bloody coal and iron to make steel. And oh my god, I've always been shithouse at all of that. All right, so we're going to have an input. We're going to have a power output. What is going to be the neatest way to do this? We've got so many options as well. Logic reader, logic writer. I want a reader. A switch. Oh, you can get like a button on it. Oh, that's new. Alright, so essentially this thing's going to feed data out to us, right? So in a way, you probably would want to go that way. We need it powered as well. We're going to get a mess of cables, bloody tripping over it. But we just want to I want to make this really neat and tidy so it's at least graspable to someone that doesn't know what's going on. So I'm going to do it this way, God help me, upside down. Right? So we'll put bang, right? So what we're going to have is we'll have an input data and we have an output data, right? So how do I explain this best on the floor? This is good because I'm pretty foggy on it myself, so I won't be able to get off target too much. This solar panel Oh, actually, it's not the solar panel, you idiot. It's the, no, I've got that back to front. We need to feed data into there. It's the actual sensor. All right, we're going to pull this up. Bear with me. I was going to go through the sensor, but I managed to confuse myself. Let's do it like this. Come on, turn, you mongrel. It's one of these buttons. All right, cool. Now, I believe there's a sensor. I'll show you with the sensor what I was about to try and show you with the... All right. We could probably just slap it here. What do you... Oh, it's because it's back to front. Oh, no. All right, you've got daylight sensor, motion sensor, and gas sensor. Someone was asking about my plan before to sort of moderate gas in a room, and I'd use this gas sensor. So essentially, the daylight sensor gives you a lot of different readings. Like it even think about it, it gives you a 1-0 reading whether it's on or off sort of thing as well. Remember, so like what we need to do is so this thing is basically at its data port is generating all these different types of data, which is really cool if you think about it. Can be used for lots of different things, but it's also very confusing. If you tried to wire this straight into like the solar panel, it wouldn't know what to do with all that data. So what you need to do is put it through a reader to specify what specific piece of data it wants. So that's why we start with a reader. Now we need to position this correctly. I think that'll do it. What do you mean solar angle question mark? Is that because you're not plugged in? We'll get to this. All right. What about like that? Hang on. That's interesting. What about here? Now, why are you giving me 0 degrees when the sun is clearly right there onto you? Could it be that it just needs to be plugged in? Oh no, here we go. Now it's working. Solar angle 90 degrees. Now that doesn't help us at all. All that's telling us is it's 90 degrees to me, the sensor. Maybe it was too low. Will it sense now? That is interesting. Maybe there is a line of sight component that we have to consider. Huh. Well, the readout that it's giving us right now is actually kind of accurate. If you think about it, think about your 45 degree, 90 would be straight up, 0 would be there, and 45 would be sort of like that, right? So at the moment it should be 50 something and gaining, right? Cool. One thing I just want to check is if we turn it upside down, will it give the same reading? Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's interesting. I would have thought that it would be potentially upside down, actually, if it did that. Well, that's fine. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't detecting it because it was too low or something. Maybe there is a line of sight component, but we're going to have to play with that and experiment. But for the time being, that's reading fine. 67, 68. Yep, it's going up. All right, so bit of a panic moment there. Sorry, team. Well, not even a panic, but all right. So that's our power input there, and this is our data 1 input. So we need it to connect to here. So let's get. Oh, that was it. Yeah. I don't want it interfering with the. Because let's do the power one because that's obvious. Like this. Bang. Now, can we do that without interfering? No, not really. All right, well, we're gonna have to turn it back upside down again, or the other test would be, can we put it at right angles. What are you reading at the moment? 89, well, 90-ish, I suppose. How are you going to go when we put you at right angles like that? Hey, look, it's still just reading. So all that seems to matter is it's frontward facing. It doesn't really care about its position on that plane. That's quite handy, actually. I can't think of a scenario where that's going to be a problem in this game. It could potentially be, maybe, but I can't think of something off the top of my head. Right. There we go. So that's feeding in. And now it needs a power supply. So what we're going to actually do, we won't do it right now. We'll do it secondarily, but we're going to create a sort of spin-off separate mini grid that this feeds into with its own separate battery, its own redundancy that feeds back into the logic loop. All right? Because because it needs a power supply, you don't necessarily want to drain your entire main grid, but not have an ability to actually have your solar panels still work. So what we would have is like a small battery that's siphoning off the grid, but it wouldn't pass through. You'd probably have a power connector that you'd have the power connection here go through one of these power controllers, but instead of it going onto the grid, it will just loop back into the front here, and that's it. It will exist purely as a power source, a self-replenishing power source in an emergency situation for our grid tracking, basically. Anyway, look, we've run out of time there. Everything's going swell by the look of it. Ate my baked potato, cooking some more plants. We'll have to be careful next time we go in there when we pull them down. Maybe I made a mistake. Like pulling one out of the dirt, or it hadn't grown properly. Not really clear to me what happened there. But this is exciting. We're coming along as far as doing this. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it all in logic, because as I said, there is a decimal component, and I don't believe when you do math memory, I don't think you can go into decimals with the logic panels unless that's changed. And so in order to actually do that, we might have to build a bloody computer, which might require a fabricator, which again, I can't remember if they need steel or not, but we might actually still be able to do it before we do the furnace. If not, we might have to do the furnace anyway, but this is all still pretty good fun, sort of just working through it. I'll do a little bit of reading in between as well, just to double check, so I'm not totally in the dark. But yeah, right team, any questions, let me know. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.